Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy Heroes. This is Grand Arena, second match, second week, season 60. Round 1 was a tough loss. And it's a match that I think I should have won. It would have come down to banners, but I think had I not made a mistake where I accidentally used Bane with my Melga squad, then we would have been able to one-shot his entire board. But because I made that mistake, because I didn't use my presets, it forced me to have to use a less than ideal counter up against his third sister's squad, where I tried to use Malicos because with this Kron, it makes that pretty iffy. I didn't get the RNG I needed. But had I kept Bane, I would have just been able to use Bane up against it and we would have been fine. I think it still would have come down to banners, but we did force my opponent into a hold up against the punishing one with the Executor here. So we would have been in a position then where I had one-shot his board, he would have been held once. But I would assume that he either undersized some battles or he was just far more efficient controlling my defense. So congrats to Bacon. Today's opponent is Nero. Nero is a 12.0 million GP player, so we're about 300k less than him. He's solid on Zetas at 286, but that's a little low. I think it's the lowest in the bracket, and it is. Ami's, he's pretty strong with only 3 behind me, but that puts him... I'm actually 4th in this bracket. This is one of the lowest Ami counts that I've been standing. Usually I'm 1st or 2nd. GL's at 8. Everyone is in this bracket except for me. Relic units at 247 is strong. His relic tier total is also strong at 1402. You can see he has that in the tier 5s, the tier 3s, and then really just at every tier. Tier 7s, 8, and 9s he has advantages, although actually we're tied in tier 8. Mod-wise, I've got the better mods. He's a little bit slow at the with 25.2 at the plus 25 average. That actually puts him last in the bracket. In the top 500, he's fairly weak. Not last, but he's in the lower portion. I think I was 2nd or 3rd with the top 500, then top 25, I think it was like 4th. With the counts... like, we're practically double than him on the 25 plus. Like, we've got 90 more of the 20 plus, the 15 plus. We're at like 100. We've got big advantages in terms of mod quality. Datacrons, he's participating at a healthy rate. And we're looking at mostly Relic 8s on the GLs. Triple Ami Melgus. Then we're looking at Radis, Iden, Double Ami Starkiller, Dash, Wampa, Savage, Treya, no Afra at all. Then we're looking at Qui-Gon, Triple Ami Swallow, nothing on Zori, Double Ami Third Sister, Krex, Triple Ami Malicos, nothing on Drogon, Double Ami Baudelaire, double on Bane, double on Jar Jar, and a single on Cadme. The rest of these characters look fine, and his fleet is fine. With the mod quality, we are looking for gas. His gas is at exactly 300 speed. Organize this. And he is at 43 characters. His gas is right there. I'm at 51, 52. So I've got about 9 or 10 more 300 speed characters than him. And then you can see some of these characters like Jin. Jin being that fast, it's fine, but it's unnecessary when you consider some of the characters who don't have that type of modding. And for the rest of this, we're just going to talk over the footage of my play. I didn't do a live record of this match. You can see my opponent attacked first. We knew what we had to work with. He had 1809 banners, so if I am able to one-shot his board, then I will be able to win. Going through my defense, we did pick up a hold with Bosk and that Dengar Kron, and that has been a huge Kron this session. We were able to get, I think, 2 matches with the Dengar Crown. We just put a video out where I talked about how this crown was already looking good. It's held up against CLS and gas. So you're going to want to use a high quality counter up against it. Now, with my opponent's defense, we're looking at Great Mother, Gas, Kellerin, and Zerg with the Gideon Kron. Kellerin has the Ethkoth Kron. And then down below, we are looking at Cadme, Bosnas, Bosk, and that Dengar Kron, and Saul Luthen with the Luthen Kron. I didn't do advanced scouting, but I did prep based on his defense, set down a plan, and I do think that I'm going to be able to clear this pretty efficiently as long as I don't make a mistake like I did last round. Now with this, I'm going to want to keep Bosk for later because I want to be careful. I don't know what we're going to add for it. With Cadme, we've got a dedicated counter now. We're just going to use Great Mother. I have the Morgan Elsbeth Kron, and I'm going to be able to undersize it, which is what we have been doing with it. So we're going to go full screen. Now with this, we can Doom Cadme, bless Elsbeth, and then it's just quick work from here. And since she's Relic 7, we're able to one-shot her. You can see Pow and Master Qui-Gon at the Relic 7 level. That makes this all easier. We've been doing this the entire season. I rushed after Great Mother. I knew they were going to be that much of a difference maker, so I wanted to have them as quickly as possible, which was the start of this season. And what used to be a nuisance dealing with this Master Qui-Gon Kron is now no longer a problem. We don't have to do things like save Bane to go up against it, which is what we had been doing in the previous seasons. Or hoping certain other counters we would get the right RNG. And instead, we just need to take a little bit of time, manage our opportunities at attacks. Just mess around with these audio levels a little bit. Now we could go after the decoy, take the decoy out quickly, but we're going after the major threats first, even though we only can target the doomed character with Elsbeth and the Great Mother. And now these last two will go down a lot faster because we're able to use the specials to attack with Acolyte and Spirit. Yeah, and this one's over. This is going to be a quick video because this match, I was able to play this in 42 minutes when I originally played, and now I'm talking over it at a higher speed. We're doing this at 1.5 speed. Now, Boss Nass here, we're just going to use Baudelaire. We're going to update my presets so we don't make these kinds of mistakes again. I did make this mistake, I think, last week. I wasn't careful with who I had set down. I didn't have Bam. And I do feel like Bam is definitely my preferred character. It made for a much sloppier match during the first week. Especially because I don't want to push the relic levels on these characters quite yet. So we take all these attacks. This is why I like Bam. He's going to ensure Grogu stays alive. And now we cleanse and mass assist, take out that shield generator, and now it's over. We can dispel with bow. The dispel and the recovery makes her a little bit nicer on offense, although I really like armor. But bow does make sense for banners on offense. I'll go after Nass, take him out in the one shot. Now you can see we go after Phalanx because I don't want to deal with the counters. I want to try and retain banners. I'm trying to be careful just in case this match comes down that way. But we do have Dispel and Basic with Baudelaire. That's why I target Tarpals there. And now I can target who I want. I am not going to do the second special with Paz. And it's over. Now, Saul Luthen, we're probably going to go gas, but my concern there is that's been a low banner counter for me. Trying to be better about using those presets. You can see those choices here. Now, with gas, I've just been going with extra turn meter. Not a huge deal. We did have other options here. And maybe I should have considered them because you can see what's going to happen with this. We go after Trooper, take him out a few times, but we get stuck behind a taunt on Baze. Can't go after Baze right away. We're absorbing a bunch of hits. That Frenzy there has me concerned. That's why, even though I could go after Luthen, I decided I want to get rid of that Frenzy from Baze and then get stuck behind a taunt again. But now, I switch over to Luthen, we have our opportunity, and we knock him out quick. And the ease it is with how quickly you can take out Luthen. I mean, maybe it's a testament that maybe you shouldn't be using Saw on defense, but also it just puts a lot of pressure from my vantage point that I want to have higher relics on Luthen. he can't be that easy to take out. Otherwise, like, he's not providing the right value. And this is not a team I think I won't be setting them on defense anymore without the Kron. Now, Bosk, we are holding off. With Zerg, dedicated counter. Although, actually, I probably shouldn't do that, at least with the Krons. Now, we got to update this preset because it's old as Talon. It's not usable. But we're not making the same mistake as last round. I want to talk some nonsense. I want to see if we find an opportunity to do it, because I've been watching Black Doves on Netflix, and I've been loving it. Alright, now, this is pretty straightforward. Now, he does have Captain Enoch here, which is an interesting choice, because he has these characters at relics. It means he's split up his Imperial remnants, because his other remnants are with his Great Mother, and maybe that's because he doesn't have enough relic Night Sisters, where he was trying to make a decision about how he wanted to split them up. He may also not have had the best Krons for those characters. Maybe that was part of the decision making for why I didn't use them. Because even with Great Mother, you'll see it after this, he's got Spirit, or he has the Spirit Kron. It's not the Elspeth Kron. He didn't wail out, so it's not the Great Mother Kron. And here, this takes a while. And the reason I probably should have considered Kratos is like right there, we lose Sith Marauder. Maybe I could have used somebody a little bit more survivable. But had I used that Kratos counter, I think we would have played this a lot cleaner. We would have got more banners out of it. And this being a match that is likely coming down to banners, I wanted... Those are the types of choices and decisions I would make the difference. Yeah, so I switched to Enoch because it felt like Scout was recovering too much. And maybe that's something to do with Enoch's presence or something else. But I don't remember Scout having this much recovery before. And until we got the healing immunity, it just took some time. There's the Spirit Crown on the Great Mother. Now I make the decision that it's time to clear Bosk. And I don't want to mess around, and based on the advanced scouting, well, we didn't do advanced scouting, based on the prep work that we did prior to starting this match, as long as his back wall is what I think it is, I should be able to use JML here. I'm leaving Jedi Knight Luke off, because Luke, then I might potentially be able to use with other Jedi. Here, I decide I want to just prioritize increasing the options with this Jolee Kron, this Old Republic Kron. So I'm going to swap out Yoda and put in Bastila Shan. And it's not a major deal, but we get some, I forget which of the two Jolee Krons I have that I ultimately selected, but one of them is stats, one of them I think is like a stun or recovery or something. We're definitely going after Zam first. We want to just knock out the effects of that Ami as quickly as possible. Now we do have, I think I have a stun. Do I have a stun on special? Is that what I chose? I have already forgotten what I chose. We're working on recovering a little bit. I'm choosing Bastila because she's able to get them the level 6 effect, whichever one I chose. We're not worried about Dengar, but you can just see, like, they're doing pretty well up against this JML squad. Those AoEs from Dengar are causing some issues. We're able to avoid most of the effects from the stun that Dengar has because they're forced to target JML, but they're still like really ripping through the protection and some of the health on these characters. Like, we're using a GL, and it's just took down a lot of banners. Like, that's an impressive crown. Like, I understand why it's been getting holds. And that's why I didn't want to mess around with it. Because it caused problems for my opponent. Now, Jabba here, I knew I had scouted him, or I did my advanced prep, so I knew what was on his back wall based on his information. I guess the distinction I'm making between scouting or not is the scouting is what I do prior to the start of the match. And all that work I did was after the match had started, after I had already seen his front wall. I was really only investigating his back wall. Because when I do the advanced scouting, then I might change my defense or change something. Yeah, and you've seen me do this all season. Like, this has been a great counter. I'm going to miss it because it's made my matches super easy. Like, we'll see how the next match goes, but had I not made that mistake that I did last round, we might be looking at going for like 5-0. Because we've been playing really clean matches, really efficient matches. Now that we have access to the Enoch Kron and Great Mother. Or the Elsbeth Kron, but the Great Mother squad. And this is really just about managing Blight correctly so you can get those stacks of Blight up as quickly as possible. I do have the Night Trooper Grand Arena Ami. I do recommend that one. I think that one's pretty necessary for the correct mechanics of Night Trooper. There's some mechanics that cause him to lose Blight, and if you put on that Ami, that stops. He doesn't lose Blight anymore. We're going with Starkiller. I considered maybe taking Malkos into here, doing like a Seer Malkos Starkiller squad, but I decided I wanted to keep my Malkos. And I'll explain why in some of these other matches, because it's just the chess moves between different decisions, the different counters that become available or not available. And really it's about that gas. Now, one of the things, like, at one of these points, like, I go for the shock and I went for the stun and I took the shock off of Kenobi. It may have already happened in this match. And that was a mistake. I think it already happened because now I'm just stuck behind Kenobi and I have to wait for a Dispel to come around. And I'm not working on bringing these characters down to the damage immunity. It really slowed me down in a way that could have really blown up in my face. We got around it, but Kenobi introduced a complexity to this battle that I should have been prepared for, but I just kind of forgot about it because I haven't seen Kenobi on this squad in a really long time. But you see, yeah, so now we AoE, we knock out Kenobi and Extra. Damage immunity is now triggered on those characters. We're managing these buffs. Damage immunity triggered on Rey. Now we can go in after JTR. Take her out before she starts dodging like crazy. Now we're just waiting for these immunities to come off. Just trying to get debuffs onto Swallow so that he can do less. Yeah. And knock her out, and we're good. So the decisions that we were making and why I didn't use Malkos with Starkillers. One, I needed to make a decision about that Leia, but also this gas. Now, I was fairly confident I was going to be able to use JMK with the Great Mother here, but I didn't want to do that prior to double checking his back wall. Because if he had done something, like put JMK with Plo on that back wall, then this is my only way through like a JMK Plo. Well, I guess I have Third Sister. But it would have made things harder. And without the Great Mother Crown, this team is not as much of a problem, but we're still playing it as if the Great Mother Crown was on the squad. Here you can see the Night Trooper and Judge Death. Don't really need to use Plo, but may as well, we have it. Now knock out the Great Mother and it's over from this point. No Ami on the Night Trooper. Not that it matters in this matchup, but notable. I don't feel like the Spirit Crown did anything to this match. And here we go. So this might take a second. It might go fast, but anyway, it went fast. With how fast this record is, it's going to be really difficult for me to talk nonsense. Alright, so now we go back here. Now, Leia, we're going to do C-Bane. We're not going to mess around with it. We could do Bane, but my Bane at Relic 7, it's a little RNG-y, and I didn't want to introduce that. I just want a clean win, make sure that we're one-shotting all this, which raised questions about how we're going to handle the gas. Because I could have done something like Bane lead up against this Leia and used C up against gas. But then we're introducing a little bit of risk. That's why I kept my Malicos. Because now I can do Seer Malicos up against gas, and that's going to be safe and clean. And high banners. Yeah, I don't think we can narrate this. Or we need to narrate this. So, Black Dove's been watching that. I think I'm on episode 4 on Netflix. It's Keira Knightley. Do I know the names of those other actors? I guess I don't know the names of those other actors, but it's got this like Shane Black vibe that I like, where it's like action. It's got this quirky sense of humor and flawed characters, and those are all like hallmarks of a Shane Black movie. And Shane Black, you know more of his movies than you realize if you don't recognize his name. Like, I think he at least wrote the first Lethal Weapon. He may have written 3 of them. He wrote The Long Kiss Goodnight, which is a fantastic movie. I love that movie. It's a criminally underwatched 90s movie. It just didn't do that well, and it's awesome. Highly recommend The Long Kiss Goodnight. And he did, not the other guys, what's the one? The Nice Ones. The Nice Ones with Russell Crowe and what's his face from Drive? Ryan Gosling. And this show, it's not Shane Black. It just feels like Shane Black could have done it. And actually, you know what? He was in Predator. I think he was the guy with the glasses in Predator. Alright, so here, gas. We go with the Seer Malicos lead. We've got the Malicos Kron, so we're just going to crush it. And I think, if not full banners, close enough to it. Go after 5s. Throw down some debuffs. With the specials, we're calling assists, so I'm just staying focused on 5s. I don't want to go after anyone else and accidentally take them out. Which I thought about with Crew up against that Rex. Because I could have tried to stun the Rex and make sure Tenacity Up didn't go around, but just did not want to risk taking Rex out. But we were able to take out 5 and Rex in the first one, Arc and Echo in the second, and now it's just working on ripping out gas. which at this point is going to be quick and easy. Now Kellerin, Ethkoth. Now we have Third Sister. We don't even need to worry about it at this stage. We just have a strong counter plus the Grand Inquisitor Kron, which puts us in a situation where we have one-shot his squads, no issue. Now we just have the question of what fleet did he set? Because based on the combination of the fleet, things could get a little risky or a little tough, or we might just face some RNG and we might need a two-shot. Like fleet, depending, can have some issues. Let's see that tank revive Kron there. I decided to ability block Cam before focusing on somebody. We're just going after Mace because otherwise with a resilient defense we might have to anyway. Cam down. And now it's just Kellerin. Sometime after this video comes out, we're going to have the Ahsoka kit reveal, the GL Ahsoka kit video out. I've got it scripted, I just need to record. Mace was reminding me about it because Mace is the first character with resilient defense, and Ahsoka's going to have it. Now, punishing one, Executor, this I want to be careful with. We pulled off a ship off of the reinforcements to maximize banners because it's 4 banners per slot. Don't want to mess around. We want to use a strong, hard counter. So with the tenacity up, we can make a choice. We're just going to stack stats with the fighter, and then we're using basics, because with the tenacity up, we're not landing bombs, we're not landing debuffs. Bring out the fighter. And now the punishing one's down. I did consider stunning the Razor Crest instead of the punishing one for the reinforcement, but because of the punishing one's turn meter at that point, I opted to stun it. Even though I think the Razor Crest can get pretty dangerous if you allow it. Yeah. No, Mark 6 down, Razor Crest about to be down. We'll have the ult in a moment. And it's over. Now, for the next one, we have to make a choice. Where do we use the Profundity in a mirror? Actually, we don't really have a choice at this point. We could have chose, maybe we try some different combination prior to using Leviathan, but now the mirror makes the most sense. And we brought in the bomber, the TIE bomber, to ensure that we win this, and I think it was definitely the right call, because we don't get the best RNG to start. I like to use that to get the reinforced hull stacks. I think it makes it more survivable in that first hits there. And I do have a slower Profundity because I don't have enough level 6 crons on my Radis. So because we lost the Y-Wing, we brought in the bomber, dropped the conflagration on everybody. Now we're forced into attacking the Phantom, which is annoying. But now the Outrider's down, and now that's over. Like, we have won at this stage. Just because without the Outrider, they're not going to be able to get to the ultimate. Ghost Phantom synergies eliminated. Yeah, and it's over. Really not even close to the ultimate. Falcon just gave me an opportunity to take it out early. Usually I save it for last because it's just annoying, but it was a little bit weaker. We had the right abilities off cooldown. And now this one, there was a decision, but we end up going Chimera, which I don't love doing because I've done it before and it's not the cleanest. Now maybe I could be using a different combination of ships. I considered bringing in a reinforcement because I knew he was probably going to take out at least a ship. We bring out the defender, we're going to stun the hyena. No, I can't stun the hyena. That's one of the things that's annoying. Maybe in this counter I should be bringing out the interceptor first so I can land that buff immunity. So I have a decision, do I want to heal and attack Sunfac, or do I want to dispel and get stacks of formation? Even though we have buff immunity on the scythe, I decide to dispel and get the formation. Interceptor, buff immunity, and dispels. Hyena bombers who I want to take out. We're still alive. Right now, I heal up scythe. I think I should have healed up the defender. It doesn't matter either way, but I think it would have been the better call. Now defender, eliminate the hyena bomber, eliminate the spy, or stun the spy. Now we just got to take out this vulture droid, and we got ourselves a match. And we win. And it's fairly solid win. The difference is my boss, Dengar Kron, held. Nero played great. He set down a good defense. It was a tough match, but those little decisions add up. So with that next match, we'll try and finish 2-1 for the week. We missed out on our opportunity to try and go back-to-back 3-0 weeks, but next week we're going to try and do 3-0 again. I just really like how my roster feels right now, especially with these Krons. We will have a GL Ahsoka video out. I might update this and throw it in there. Otherwise, we'll have that list video and maybe a roster video down below. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Be excellent to each other, everybody. This still plays Galaxy of Heroes.